What's stopping you from doing that thing, the things you're truly passionate about? Is it the fear of the unknown, the fear of being judged, or simply the fear of failure? What's holding you back? We often get that voice on our head, the voice that tells us we can't do this, we can't do that. I like to think of that voice a bit like Venom, but a Venom who's way less fun. Imagine Venom who's a total charisma vacuum, just sucking the soul out of you. Not like the fun, jovial Venom we see on the big screen, chomping a few heads here and there. No, not like that. But through personal improvement, I've developed some methods that we can use to silence the inner bitch and stop that mental argument. I was always the one with grand dreams and ambitions. I had big goals and a vivid imagination that pushed me to explore new possibilities. However, the fear of being judged and failing started to overshadow my dreams. The fear of judgment can be paralyzing. I worried about what others would think if I pursued my passions or put myself out there. I allowed the opinions of others to hold me back from taking risks and chasing my dreams, suffocating my potential. If you're like me, the fear of doing can often hold you back. We get these intrusive thoughts that say things like, what if I'm not good enough? What if what I make people hate? What if I look stupid? It's a circle jerk of self-doubt. When I first started cooking, I was plagued with self-doubt. What if people hate the food I make? What if my recipe's rubbish? What if? What if? It was only through outworking my self-doubt and applying several principles that I made leaps of progress. The fear of being judged has been a long-standing battle of mine. The fear of being different. It's only now in my mid-30s where I'm like, fuck that! Being different is the way. However, it wasn't always like that. I was an incredibly shy child, petrified of human interaction, scared of being bullied, scared of putting myself out there, not really living up to my full potential, just scared. I chose a sheltered life to avoid doing certain activities, a big fear of failure with avoidance tactics, which made me a complex little soul. I'd avoid it all. Public speaking, I'd call in sick. Anything that involved me being on a stage, nah, wouldn't do that. Literally anything that would potentially put me in the spotlight just for a moment, I'd nope out of it. However, as I get older, the nagging voice in my head gets louder. I don't want to look back and go, what if I did that thing? What could my potential have been? It's going to be difficult, it's not going to be easy, but the price of avoidance is far higher than the price of being judged. These are the thoughts that are forcing me outside of my comfort zone. It's a scary thing, putting yourself out there, out into the unknown. We all have creativity within us, but we often hold back due to uncertainty. Sometimes it feels easier to just hide in the shadows, rather than putting yourself out there, sharing that thing you've been working on in the background, the things that truly make you happy, the things you really enjoy. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can slowly break out the shackles and step out of our comfort zone, little by little, and slowly change the way we think. The only thing you can control is how you respond to things out of your control. So how do we overcome the fear of being judged? The fear of being judged is real. It's something that's deeply rooted in me, probably since childhood. I tried so hard to be normal. I could only truly be normal around a certain group of friends. I didn't want to do anything to draw attention to myself, anything that would leave me vulnerable, open to attack. For the longest time, the fear has held me back from reaching a certain level of success. But here's the first lesson I've used to free myself. The world doesn't revolve around you. Every single person is the main character in their own story. They're thinking about themselves way more than they're thinking about you. If I'm totally honest, most people don't really give a shit about what you're doing. And if they do, it's only temporary. Then they'll go back to thinking about numero uno. Stop judging yourself. Judging yourself is creating negative energy. Now I'll sound like a bit of a wishy-washy hippie shaman here, but it's true, that negative energy, people feed off of it. Stop judging yourself and people will stop judging you. Slowly start believing in yourself and your confidence will take over. It will override that inner bitch. Your approval is all you need. You can't change people's minds, you can only change yours. Doing is the proof you need. Reframe the way you speak to yourself. We often get wrapped up in our own thoughts. I can't learn how to skateboard. What if I ask this person out? Will I get rejected? If I start a business, will it fail? We simply need to swap out the negativity by using the word maybe. Maybe I can learn how to skateboard. Maybe I'll get the girl's number. Maybe I'll make a successful business. Just simply using the word adds an element of positivity, that maybe you can do it. Maybe there's a chance. Talk to yourself nicely. Focus on the best possible outcome. Change the world by changing yourself. Start building trust in yourself through action. In my life, the best way I've avoided the fear of judgment is by taking massive action. You'll still get those little voices in your head and voices from other people that will say you can't do certain things, but fuck that shit. Prove them wrong by taking so much action, your dreams become a reality. For instance, when I was younger, I used to watch loads of Jackie Chan films, loads of Bruce Lee films. I was really into martial arts. I wanted to be a stuntman. So the first thing I thought I could learn was how to do a backflip. By loads of hard work, I learned how to do it on a trampoline, and I eventually learned how to do that on a floor. 16-year-old me was ecstatic. Another example, I always wanted to be a head chef, but I never thought I was capable of being a leader. But by applying myself and working through the negative self-talk, I proved to myself I'm capable of anything. The happiest people in the world are the ones who are self-evaluating. Now risk. Risk is the next mental barrier we must defeat. Sometimes it feels easier to not even bother at all. That's how my brain works. I get this little voice in my head that says, what if I try this business? Will I lose all my money? What if I learn to backflip? Will I break my neck? What if I climb a mountain? Will I die? Depends on the scenario. Fear is inevitable. I have to accept that, but I cannot allow it to paralyze me. Now, I have a fear of heights, which is slightly irrational, but the fear is I could fall. Or the call of the void becomes too much and I chuck myself off a precipice, which is unlikely, but it's something I've been working on. I recently went to a trip to Edinburgh, and the thought of climbing mountains and volcanoes excites me, but there's that underlying fear, the fear of heights. It used to stop me from doing certain things like climbing mountains, but I'm making damn sure that voice doesn't win, pushing through the thought process, faking it till I make it, trying to create positive experiences, banking those for later, and reminding myself I can do it when I'm in a situation I'm afraid. I eventually made it to the top of Arthur's Seat. Granted, not a very big mountain, but the views were glorious. There were some really steep bits that made me a bit queasy, but I was so proud of myself for getting to the top. And once I was at the top, it wasn't actually so bad, so I don't know what I was afraid of. The fear that was keeping me up the day before was completely irrelevant. The underlying problem was, if I let the inner bitch win, I would have missed out. Risk equals reward, and the bigger the risk taken, the bigger the chance for a larger payout. How can we take better, calculated risks and override that nagging thought at the back of our minds? We can do this by not being afraid of failure. If anything, get excited by failure. As humans, it's the only way we learn. In the kitchen, I've had loads of fuck-ups, bad recipes, bad services. It's only by repeatedly doing it with the mindset of improvement that I finally nailed that chocolate mousse recipe that's eluded me for ages. Society tells us to fear failure, but without failure, we cannot achieve success. Embrace the suck. There are no problems, only solutions. You need to stop making excuses. No excuses, just do it. Take the leap of faith. Sign up for a marathon, try a new recipe, start a business. Trust in yourself. You have the problem-solving capabilities to smash it. Just try it. What's the worst that could happen? Going back to what I previously mentioned, just use the word maybe. Maybe my business idea will make me millions of pounds. Calculate the risk. Blind risks very rarely work out. Research is needed before taking a risk. When I first started out with Amazon FBA, I made a calculated risk. I did the research into products that I knew would sell and had been selling. I dropped £500 as a start and said to myself, worst case scenario, if I break even and I'm still learning, I've made progress. It was a small risk, but I'd weighed it out. I ended up making a small profit in my first 2 months of Amazon FBA. But if I let that little voice in my head win by saying it's too risky, I would never have tried it at all and never made any money. Beating procrastination. Now, we've unraveled all the mental mind blocks. The next step is to actually get going. Start the thing you want to do. For some reason, your brain, body, the connection, it just isn't there. You want to do it, but nothing's happening. To understand how to overcome procrastination, we must understand what it means. Procrastination is the act of delaying or postponing something. For example, you might find yourself delaying a project at work. You might write it down every week to accomplish, yet somehow you keep pushing it back. You keep doing it the week after, the week after. You never really get it done. The first step in battling procrastination is excuses. Do any of these sound familiar? I need to be in the mood. I will wait until I have more time. I work better under pressure. I need X to happen before I do this. You need to be honest with yourself. More often than not, we won't be in the mood to do anything. But you have to power through, override the brain, just do it. You'll most likely never be in the mood to work out, but if you want to lose weight or gain muscle, you just have to do it. I'm very easily distracted. In this digital age, everything is vying for your attention. Social media, mobile phones, switching tabs. It really stops me from focusing. A massive source of procrastination for me. What I've started doing when I notice myself going down that rabbit hole, when I start to try and procrastinate, I have to disconnect. Chuck that mobile phone onto airplane mode. Get rid of those tabs you're dying to refresh. Take off your smartwatch. Turn Alexa off. It's time to go to temporary monk mode. This may sound drastic, and it is. Get rid of the attention-sucking black holes and focus on what's important. My final tip for procrastination is just to start doing something, anything. It often leads to more productivity. Don't feel like doing anything? Go for a little run. Once you've done the run, you'll be in a better mood. Continue that momentum and use it. I've spent a lot of my life making plans. Grandiose, glorious plans that will turn me into a Greek god with millions in the bank. However, these plans are futile, useless without actually doing any work. I'm great at planning. I've got notebooks, I've got journals, I've got whiteboards full of plans. We often get frozen. We've got the idea, we've got the plan, yet we do nothing with it. I believe this comes from a place of being scared. Like I mentioned earlier, it could be past trauma, such as bullying, the fear of putting yourself out there, the fear of being judged, the fear of being successful. What if I'm in the spotlight? Imposter syndrome kicks in, and I think that's normal. I get it from time to time when I'm overwhelmed in a situation and I wonder if I'm the right man to do the job. But who is the right man? Deep down, I know I'm capable of doing it, so what's up? Plans are great. They're what will lead you to achieving your goals, but you need to start. Small, tangible steps will lead to progress. The key to overcoming a lot of these obstacles is to simply grind it out. We're all just trying to figure this out together. Nobody wakes up and they've got an instantly successful business. It just takes time and it just takes work. We all achieve it by just getting on with it, figuring it out as we go, and just making small steps. Start now. Start small. Don't look back. Figure it out as you go. No one has it easy. It's a matter of getting the next piece of the jigsaw and just slotting it in. If you're distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Focus on the joy of creation. Keep the focus on the joy and fulfillment that comes from expressing yourself creatively. Shift your attention away from external judgment and instead channel your energy into the process of creation itself. Cultivate a sense of curiosity, playfulness, and a passion for your chosen creative outlet. The question often arises, what are we really doing here? A lot of us are just trying to get by, to simply survive. For me, the saddest thing is the amount of talented people in the world that will truly never do anything because they're so afraid. Start creating, put yourself out there, contribute to society. Produce more, consume less. You have to do some things, you have to take some risks. Our time here is limited. What will you do with it?